Hey there, it's Casey Dim at TaxSaleAcademy.com and welcome to our tax sale question segment. This week's question comes to us from Lenita, and she says, thoughts on buying a piece of property at a tax sale sight unseen. Lenita, first off, thank you for your question and for being a subscriber. So my thoughts on this topic, and actually that's a question that I get on a somewhat frequent basis. You can, of course, buy property sight unseen if you want to. And, obviously when you're talking about a home versus a vacant land, well, that vacant land is going to be far less risky buying sight unseen when you compare it to that house or a structure of some sort. But regardless of those circumstances, when you buy a piece of real estate sight unseen, you are playing with fire. At some point, it's going to catch up to you. Now, you might luck out in the first 5, 10, 15 transactions are fantastic, but eventually you're going to get a piece of property that you bought sight unseen, looking at perhaps an aerial map or looking at some plat maps or GIS or whatever else. You did all of your research online and you did not take the time to see that. Eventually, you're going to get to a point where you did all that research only to realize that property is actually underwater, or it's the lowest piece of property in the neighborhood, and it's obvious while it's at a tax sale. Or it's not accessible, but you couldn't tell that online, or whatever the situation is, you're going to run into something at some point that's going to turn that investment into a very, very poor investment. It might not happen on the first 1, 2, 3, but at some point, it is going to catch up to you. You are playing with fire. Now, what I recommend, instead of driving 1,000 miles to look at a lot where you might make $1,000 or $2,000 off of, instead, hire a scout, somebody local from that area, to be your eyes on the ground there. Yes, do all your research online, but hire a scout. You can find places like Craigslist or go to Facebook. You can do all sorts of different websites nowadays where you can pay somebody $5, $10, send them Venmo money if you have to, have them text you some photos. It's very, very cheap insurance to see exactly what is going on with that property. And by the way, when you do something like that, make sure you give them lots of maps, lots of landmarks to make sure they go to the right property. But again, if you want to buy sight unseen, that is your prerogative. I do not recommend it, however. Instead, pay somebody to see that property for you if you can't get there yourself. And by the way, if you're looking at an improved property like a house or a commercial structure, I would never, ever buy one of those sight unseen, because that is just asking for problems. And when you have properties that are dilapidated perhaps, or properties that have issues that you don't even know about because you didn't drive by it, that's also asking for lawsuits. So be careful there. So Lenita, hopefully this helps you out. And if you have any other questions, feel free to leave them down below or on any of the videos I have right here on YouTube. Take care, guys. For more information on tax law investing, check out TaxSaleAcademy.com. Bye-bye.